those people to bring them up this way, because we aren't that far from the south. Taking advantage of an unfortunate situation.
Do we not already advertise down in Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi and?
Not so much Mississippi, but Louisiana.
Again, I would think that with long-term contracts in place, which is what we negotiate in order to get the rates that we get, it would be difficult to shift that money at the drop of a dime, because again, we negotiated rates in good faith a year out to say this is what we can do, and in return we want you to give us half what your regular rate is.
I have talked to, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Talked to two of our lodging property owners or managers who have told me that they already think we're getting a bounce from that situation. And you know, I would say that if we run a whole lot of television like we just have in Wichita or did, and there are people there who go to the Gulf every summer for vacation, they have no clue that they want to come here. But if they decide, hey, we might not ought to go there that this year, you know, our impressions of having been there are going to persuade them to consider coming here. And one of them told me that he knows he's getting people who normally would have taken a Gulf vacation, who have not come here and maybe spent the whole week, but have come here and spent 2 or 3 days and then gone to somewhere else and spent 2 or 3 days. Another lodging place owner told me that they are experiencing what would have been last year a 2-day average stay on the part of most visitors. Their average now has gone up to somewhere between 3 and 4 days. And he attributes that to people who can't take their normal week-long or whatever vacation, 10 days on the Gulf. So, you know, I just think I agree that if there was a way to take advantage of that other than what North Carolina did, that was run ads that said our beaches are clean,
That's just tacky.
You know, we've got to say that every impression we make is an impression that we're setting ourselves up for whatever situation a family finds themselves in.
Right, top of mind awareness.
Yes.
And that's what you get with long-term commitments, and if we're already hitting those areas, it should be working.
Any other comments on that? Or? So we're okay. All right. Item D, communicating CAPC's plans and actions. A while back, a couple of years ago, I guess, we had a newsletter we used to send out telling people, you know, it was sort of like a director's report and a financial report. This is that everybody could see. And because of, you know, change of assignments and all that, we really don't do that anymore. And I don't know if we should start thinking about doing that again, or I think Joyce, you had said at one point something about even a monthly newspaper update.
No, I don't think it would hurt to have a monthly column, even if we have to buy the space.
Yeah.
Could I just tell you all where I am on that?
Sure.
And what I'd like to do? I have talked to Mary Pat, the new editor of the Lovely County Citizen, and asked her if I wrote a little monthly thing after our meetings on what we were doing, if she would run it. And she said, yeah, I think I would. I've also, it's been suggested to me that I go to council once a month and report to them, as much to inform council as to let the public who watches council meetings know what we're doing. And I am willing to do that. And the third thing I want to do at the end of this year, North Little Rock Commission puts out this little, I think it's 8 pages, report at the end of every year on what their commission did that year. And it's like, explains the tax and what their mission statement is. Impact of travel, they get figures from Parks and Tourism on how many people they think came to North Little Rock and all that. Their visitor information center statistics, which we can get from the chamber. They list where they advertised. And they list, North Little Rock, if you don't know, is their tourism is primarily built around sporting events. And they run a list of the events that they get, the sporting events that they get. And then in the back, they give some breakdown on tax collection. But I think doing something like that would And if we mailed one of these to each of our collectors and then ran an article in the paper that's available if you want a copy, would help a lot in our communications with what we're doing.
Is there any way that we could make that quarterly? I'm just saying, once a year is not really enough for us to communicate out what we're doing, where we've been. A quarterly would be an expense to print, but then you could do a year-end recap and still give them like March, June, whatever the next one would be, September.
I think if it was monthly in the, monthly in the Citizen plus monthly at council, because we used to get that.
Right.
And we were used to hearing it, and we were used to hearing, you know, where we went, where we've been this month, you know.
Right.
And then a year end, I think it would definitely help.
Do you think quarterly would be overkill?
I think quarterly would
Yeah.
be taxing to get
Okay.
out.
Okay.
And you know, in the winter months, through January, February, and March, there wouldn't really be much to put out.
Right, but that brings out the question too. Would you do this at the calendar year end? Or would you do it the season?
Well, I would,
the
because
season year end.
Because that's the budget year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just thinking that you know, to get it at a more timely, there's times not December, January when we need to let people know what we're doing and what the efforts are, and because they'll forget.
Well, we can also send an email blast out to all of our collectors of the article that I write for the newspaper.
Okay,
So that would give
Okay.
them some more information.
okay.
Post it on the internet. I think all of that is good, just so the citizens can stay informed of what's actually happening, rather than what they might hear is happening. All righty, setting the date for social networking workshop. Is that your item?
Sooner the better. No, we just
Okay.
need to set one.
All righty.
We've talked about having
Of course,
one.
my phone is turned off, and that's my
Mine is
calendar.
too.
There's a calendar
No, I'm
right
not-
there.
But it has all my appointments on it.
Oh.
You want to do it on a Wednesday? Seems to be our best.
Yeah, the week of August,
Do it on August 4th?
HDC is here on
Yeah, the
August.
Well, we don't need to do it, a
Yeah, we don't
workshop
need- we
here.
don't
We can
need
do
it.
a workshop.
Right.
in
Yeah, I
August.
have a Parks and Rec workshop on the 4th.
The 11th?
I'm in
second,
Vegas.
let's see, who's in the second and fourth Wednesday? Nobody.
She's in Vegas.
Oh,
The
Can you do
11th.
11?
That's the one I'm in
well,
Vegas
pick
on the 11th.
pick another day. Doesn't have to be Wednesday. I don't care.
How about Friday the 13th? That seems
Oh, great.
appropriate.
Tuesdays are okay. Is Tuesdays okay with folks?
Vanna?
Vanna, Tuesday the
Vanna.
3rd.
It would have to be in the afternoon for me, later in the afternoon. Wednesday is the day that I'm available all day, otherwise it's after 4 o'clock.
If we do it Tuesday, we could do it and then in the evening and have cocktails, and that'll make it an interesting meeting.
Oh, that'll be,
That'll be a long but interesting meeting.
Tuesdays after 4, how's it for everybody?
If we had that kind of meeting, there'd be 150 people show up.
Everybody wants
Here we
public
are again.
input.
You thought we were done, right? Are Tuesdays after 4 or
The 10th?
10?
The 3rd.
3rd, the 10th?
I'm out of town from the 8th through the 12th at a gift show.
8th through the 12th? So we would have to make it the week of the 17th, or the week of the 16th.
Yeah, 16th or 2nd.
Tuesday, August 17th at 3 o'clock.
No, Joyce can't make it at 3.
Well, I could make it by 4. Oh, Tuesday's usually a pretty good selling day because that's the last 2 weeks of August, because we're probably not going to be busy, but who knows?
You never know.
Tuesday, August 17th at 4.
Here?
I mean, 4 o'clock is okay with me.
Here?
Yeah.
At the office.
We usually do, of course, workshops at the office because you never know if this room is going to be available.
Right.
This is open on Tuesday.
So,
Well, the problem is if we go late, they want to lock the courthouse up.
yeah.
So at
Not-
So we'll do it at the
CAPC.
CAPC office. Tuesday, August 17th, CAPC office, 4 p.m. Social networking or social media. Social networking sounds like a dating site.
Shouldn't we tear that page off of that calendar?